Hello, my name is Brian Delp, and I'll be talking to you today about what makes a rainbow and how rainbows come to be. So let's get started. Okay, I have here some objects that reflect different colors, but let's first talk about how that happens. So every object can either reflect or absorb certain wavelengths of light. The wavelength that's reflected is the color of that object. So you notice there's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, kind of a dark blue, indigo-ish, and a violet. I also have some crayons here. Notice that these are also red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Now when the sun shines, it actually emits all kinds of colors, all kinds of wavelengths of light. And an object will reflect that light, and then that's the color that we call it. So green is a certain wavelength, red is a certain wavelength. They all have different wavelengths. Okay. Now what I have here is an LED bulb where I can change the colors. We're going to do a little experiment with this. Now keep in mind, this LED bulb is not perfect. So it's not emitting perfect white light, and it probably won't emit perfect red or yellow or green. So let's start with the red. Here's a way you can remember the different colors that come out of a rainbow. Red, like that kind of a reddish color. Yep. Orange. Yellow. Now, does that spell somebody's name? To me it looks like Roy. And you have G for green. Maybe that's Roy's middle name. And we have blue. So B. I for indigo. And a V for violet. So you can remember the colors of a rainbow by remembering Roy, G, Biv. Kind of a funny name. So I'm going to change the light to different colors, and we'll see if it reflects differently off these objects. So first we'll do red. You notice the red can still looks pretty much the same, and you can see red. Looks like these got a little bit darker, harder to see. We'll go to orange. Does the orange look still like an orange? We'll go to yellow. Looks like the yellow comes out pretty well. The bananas look like bananas. We'll go around the green. Now that definitely looks yellow. There comes green. Does it look like the green's coming out a little bit better? Looks like the red is getting really dark though. So I guess the can and red don't reflect green. Blue. Looks like that red and the orange are still pretty dark. Yellow looks kind of muted. It looks like the blue and the indigo and the violet are starting to come a little more vibrant. Blue, indigo, violet. Remember, this light is not perfect. It's not quite like the sun. So this yellow is looking really bright. But you'll notice that especially red looks dark when it's blue. so does that orange. And you'll notice that the blues look a little more dark or muted when we go to the orange and red spectrum. Those are at the opposite ends of the spectrum. You see red's over here, violet is over here. So we went back to violet. Notice the red gets dark, the orange gets dark, but these have more color. So if we go to red, these get dark, don't have as much color. This cover is also blue. Let's see if we go from violet. Notice the green, it's kind of dark, but let's go to green. The green looks more like a lime. But if we go to indigo, it looks a little darker. Alright, so let's go back to the white light here for a second. Let's talk about how this plays into a rainbow. So if you had a raindrop, well, let's first draw you. So let's say you're sitting here and it just finished raining. So here you are. It just finished raining, so you're happy. Get to go out and play. And let's say the sun is behind you over here. Now, that's yellow, not white. But if I drew white on the paper, I don't think you'd see it. Over here, we have raindrop. Pretty big raindrop. But let's say the sun comes into this raindrop. And you have this white light. Oops, so you can't see the white. So let's use this funky color. This will be kind of fun. So I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to draw another line in between, or above it. And the area in between we're going to say is the white light. Well, when it hits this curved surface of the raindrop, it wants to bend. Refract, they call that. And it comes in here, and it refracts off the back side of this raindrop and out to your eyes. Alright. Now, what happens though, since each one of these colors is at a different wavelength, now wavelength is the distance between the waves. Let's say we did ultraviolet. So the distance between here is pretty short, and the distance between there is pretty long. So, and these are all in between, so green would be somewhere in the middle. So as these colors come into this raindrop, they slow down, and they refract there, and they reflect here, and they refract off of that side. So what happens is, as they slow down, the different colors separate because they're going different wavelengths. So you may end up with a red, so you do end up with a band in this spectrum. Now, one big raindrop might make a rainbow, I don't know, but if you have a lot of little raindrops, when it rains, you'll have what they call a mosaic. So you would have a bunch of these raindrops. I'm not going to draw too many of them. We'll go outside and actually make a rainbow here in a second. But you had a bunch of these raindrops all in the sky right after it rained. So this big rain cloud just went overhead. So the rain's falling here. You have all these raindrops. And the sun hits every raindrop. It refracts and reflects and slows down the light to allow the light to separate into these different colors, you'll see that rainbow right at that edge of every single raindrop. That creates a mosaic of a rainbow. Now let's go outside and talk real quick about rainbows in the sky. Here we are, the garden hose, just simulating some small raindrops. With the sun behind me, you can start to see a rainbow. You'll notice that the sun has to be behind me. If I turn the water this way, no rainbow. As I come around this way, the angle of the sun refracting off all the little droplets of water will make a rainbow. Oh, that sun went away. Wait for the sun to come back. But you'll notice it takes a lot of little drops to make a rainbow. There, you can see one there at the bottom. There we go. That's pretty good. So when it's raining and the rain's just gone over and the sun is behind you, you might see a rainbow. So for a little challenge, why don't you go out, see if you can find some rainbows. It'll be tricky, but if you get it just right, you'll see quite a display of cool colors. That's a little better. Oh yeah.